looking for a revolutionary change in management, that hasn't happened. But I suppose that possibility is there. So the first two items are geared to financial security. The next ones have to do with physical security, and we're focused on security in long-term care homes because we had that incident where a resident was very cruelly beaten by another. And we're also interested in getting a change in the mandatory retirement in RRSPs and RRIFs.
How do you feel about that concept, guaranteed livable income?
It's a variation on an idea I've come to hear more and more about. We live in an age of many technological miracles. There are many more to come. All the discussion around the avalanche of AI breakthroughs, artificial intelligence breakthroughs, also focus on the fact that these movements are likely to result in major unemployment. It's promised an extra 5,000 long-term care beds over the near future, and a whole lot more in the distant future.
As women who don't necessarily want to live alone, and there's these homes popping up across the country in, they're called Baba Yagas. Have you heard of them?
Can you repeat that word again?
Baba Yagas. Baba, like grandma.
Yeah.
Baba.
Sounds Russian.
Yaga.
Yeah.
And it's the first co-living experiment in Canada, but in the 80s it was in Vancouver, 97 in Toronto, 2012 Saskatoon, and 2014 Winnipeg. But, like for instance, I just saw it was for sale on the lakeshore. It was 4-bedroom, 4-bathroom, and you think, wow, that'd be great. Somebody has to buy it, and then you live in it. So, is there anything like that that would ever be considered?
Actually, I'm aware of such a situation now being built in the Collingwood area, the Georgian Bay chapter.
A lot of the communities outside Burlington have a lot of vacant land where they can build new co-housing complexes and kind of build to suit the needs. In Burlington, we don't have that kind of vacant land, so we are certainly looking at ideas like finding 4-bedroom, 4-bathroom homes, creating individual suites, and creating opportunities for people to live together. It's a way to certainly try and combat a lot of social isolation, which is an issue for a lot of seniors.
It's about co-housing, and we're just trying to get that initiative happening in Hamilton. So it's co-ho-ho.
Co-ho-ho, that deals with grandparents and grandparents' rights. And if the information I've been given is correct, Ontario is the next province that actually has a grandparents' law. And that means when divorce occurs or family breakup occurs, that the interests of the parents and the grandparents relative to the kids must be taken into account.
The law changed as of January the 1st, but it was only grandparents that actually had a relationship with their grandchildren, not grandchildren that they've never been allowed to see. So the Quebec law states that no man or woman shall keep grandparents and grandchildren away from each other unless there's a reason for it.
Available tomorrow afternoon. Would you like to come down to our studios and
I'll be
participate?
anywhere you want me to be.
All right. So
The 5,000 beds announced today are over the next 4 years. And they've promised another 30,000 beds within the next
the
decade.
question is, what percentage is that of the waiting list?
My understanding of the current waiting list in Ontario now is 73,000. Now, I guess the euphemism of long-term care, it's not always that long, so that there is a turnover in that number, but 5,000 beds really just does not stop the bleeding. The Minister of Health was asked that question, and he framed it as an alternative, but not separate from the private care system, which would still be in place, but there would be a roster of publicly funded PSWs and other service providers who a person could choose when and if they need the service. So they could say, my mother's coming for a few months, or my daughter's coming, I don't need your help this month, come back next month, but I still want to have the same service provided. So their plan seems to be in conjunction with the current private system, but they would have their own roster of PSWs as well. And I think The oversight that provides is something that's positive. Like when the government has regulatory control over who is providing those services. So the current average now is 3 or 3.5 hours of PSW care. In a long-term care home, they're going up to an average of 4, which they quantified as 15 million additional hours. So that's a substantial amount.
It's not an accident that there's an election next year. The government of Ontario will suddenly seize the vote of these questions.